Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about SPRs. Special purpose receivers, or special purpose rifles, whatever you want to call it. Some people like to refer to these as kind of recce style rifle builds, or just scoped carbines. Call it whatever you want. But this is kind of a video talking about our setups, our kind of longer AR-15 setups, geared more towards accuracy and precision. We're going to shoot them a little bit, see how they do. We have some steel set up in these hills out to about 650-ish meters. But first, we're going to go over each of our rifle builds and the things we have on them and why we set them up in the way that we did. Okay, so this is my ZevTech 16-inch Core Elite rifle. I have this set up currently as my SPR, but it is also my competition rifle. I have right behind it the ZevTech Core Combat, which is set up almost 100% exactly the same. And I set these two up that way because I really like them, how they're set up. They work really well. I'm just only going to explain one of the builds because the similarities are there. The main difference is the barrel and the trigger. That's about it. Right up here up front, we have the Silencer Co. Velos LBP. That's their new 3D printed low back pressure can. This is a 5.56 can. And I think it is pretty good can. It's a 5.56 can. It's not going to be crazy quiet just due to the nature of that round, but it's got a nice low tone, which is more pleasant on the hearing, most people think. It is attached via the ASR mounting system, and I just have there the Silencer Co. ASR muzzle brake down there. We have the Cloud. I think this is the 1.0. This is one of their old Cloud rifle lights. It's worked great for me. I also have the 100 Concepts anti-reflective cap there for that, for tactical purposes, right? I have the Evolution Bipod. It's a local Utah company. Moving back, you'll notice this bronze barrel that is kind of ZevTech's match grade barrel. It is a 1-in-7 twist. It shoots pretty well. I like to shoot 73 grain, the Hornady ELD M 73 grain round through that. It groups nicely sub MOA. This one has a 1-in-8 twist. It also shoots great with that round, but I guess it might have a little bit more versatility if you're going with a lighter round, like a 55 grain. That's getting into twist rates and bullet weights and stuff. I don't want to get too heavy in that. Then we have the Emissary Development Handbrake Mini. It's a great little kind of hand stop. If you're shooting off a barricade or something, it works great to load into a barricade. We have this Neomag little, I forgot what this is called, but this just basically keeps the sling from getting all over the place. Moving back to the scope, this is the Leupold Mark V HD 3.6 to 18. Is a great kind of MVPO or MPVO, medium power variable optic, whatever, with the Delta Point Pro on top. And again, I have the 100 Concepts scope caps and hex cap on there. I like this not for like defensive purposes, but if I'm competing and I'm shooting into the sun, it helps see the dot and see what I need to see in the reticle if light is shining towards me. I have the Flatline Ops bubble level up here and the Bone Spur throw lever. Bubble level because shooting not level isn't cool. So having a setup when you're shooting, especially for precision and accuracy, if you're level, that's going to help you a lot. Even a little bit of cant, 1 or 2 degrees when you're getting out to distance, that's going to throw your shot off significantly. So that is an awesome bubble level. Then I got some Radian stuff, the charging handle and the safety selector. This is the full ZevTech, upper and lower and everything. And they have the American trigger. I think this is their gold. I don't know what it's called. It's a decent 2-stage trigger. It's what came with the rifle. I like it, but I prefer the Geissele SSAE-X with the lightning bow. It's on that tan one back there. That one's my preferred trigger. It stands for Super Semi-Auto Enhanced X, so maybe like extra enhanced. Then I got Magpul. This is the K2 Plus grip, the kind of the rubberized texture one. I really like the feel of that and the angle. And then the Magpul PRS Lite stock. There's a little bit of adjustability in the stock, like length pull and comb and things like that. So that's nice to getting that kind of personalized kind of cheek weld and everything for your scope. And since I'm running a top dot, I like this a little bit so I can see through the dot a little bit easier, and then I can really sink into it to get the scope, right? And then we have the Tier 1 concealed flatline fiber sling. This is a underrated sling in my opinion. I really like it. The adjustability is pretty stiff, so if you're having the rifle slung and you're running, it stays put nicely. So that's kind of the build. Again, it's a 16-inch 1-in-7 twist, and I really like this. It's done well for me. I've shot this out to 700 meters very consistently. I've taken the tan one out to 1,000 meters and shot C-zone still with that. So both very, very capable setups. I kind of set these up geared towards my tactical games competitions, but with the canned light, bipod, things like that, it's a pretty cool SPR setup in my opinion. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is the tripod. We have all of our rifles set up on tripods right now. We have 3 tripods out here today from 2 Vets tripods, and then we have 2 from RRS, Really Right Stuff. Both great companies, make good stuff. Tripods are also underrated, and I think we're all except Colin's rifle are running off of Arca rails. We have different brands of Arca stuff, but that's kind of how we're mounting them onto the tripod. So we have 3 pieces of steel set up there. We have a 6 or 8-inch gong at 200 meters. And then we have a TA Targets Mini ADAP, which is about that size, at 380 meters. And then we have a full-size silhouette at 630 meters. So we're going to work off the tripod, engage each piece of steel twice, and see what kind of times we get. Then that gets into the topic of, you know, are you holding in the reticle or are you going to dial, things like that. I like dialing, but you know, that's personal preference and whichever you think's faster or whatever you're used to. So I'm going to dial. So
stand by.
let's see. Hit. Hit. Okay.
40.99.
40.99. So 7 shots, so I had 1 miss. Theoretically, dialing's a little bit slower, but I like it better because then I just hold right on the, you know, right on the reticle there. If you're good and if you know your holds and everything, just holding in the reticle is pretty fast.
All right, my turn. As you can see here, I've got my trusty old Daniel Defense. It's the DDM4 V5S. It's 14.5. I love this rifle. I got it a long time ago. It was probably my first nicer rifle I ever got. Basically, this thing is stock in terms of like the main components and stuff like that, except for the trigger and the charging handle. The trigger I have here is the Geisley SDE, and that stands for, it's the enhanced one, not the enhanced. Yeah, super dynamic enhanced. It's not the X. I'm not fancy like Aaron. Just kidding. I think the first stage is a 2.5-ish. Second stage is like a 1.3. I like it a lot. It's a lot better than the Daniel trigger that it came with, obviously. The charging handle is the Silencer Co. one, which is basically in all my ARs. At least the AR-15s. It's got the O-ring and stuff. It's the gas defeating charging handle. Up top, I got the Mark V HD from Leupold. Awesome. As these guys said, I'm on a pick instead of the Arca. I got the Flatline Tier 1 sling, and I've got these little pads. Is it on that side? Yeah. On the quad. Love those because these things can be kind of aggressive sometimes, especially on a recce build that you're going to be like gripping and running through stuff. Not that I do that at all. I got the Evolution bipod up here. This is a great bipod. And then I've got the Omega 300 for the suppressor from Silencer Co. And I love this can. It's got their brake on there that they make all sorts of awesome claims about. I think it's pretty good at mitigating recoil, and they say it suppresses sound a little bit too. That's about it. I'm basically stockish. Like it or hate it, I love it.
Stand by.
Oh, in my face. Oh. Oh no, I lost it. There she is. Left. Low. That was left. There it is.
Hit.
No call.
Low left.
Is that it?
Nope.
Nope. What? Nope.
There you go. 71.89. Okay, so
I was doing good.
stand closer so it picks me up. This is a good talking point when you're getting into the scopes and scope carbine stuff. A lot of times people have their top end magnification limits. Like this is an 18 power. And so a lot of times you want to use all the magnification you can get. But
True.
sometimes you get sucked into that, right?
Yeah.
Your field of view is a lot smaller. And so you're running off almost 15 power on there. I was going at about 9, I think. So that's an example of like when you're scanning and looking for the next target, you can easily miss it when you're too zoomed in.
Yeah.
Less field of view.
Yeah, which is definitely a problem I was having. I also was doing holds rather than dialing.
Also, a good trick is to not stay in your optic, right? You got this geography here where you know where the targets are approximately. So anytime you're working your tripod, I'm going to set up over top the gun, right? And then drop down. And once I'm on it, I'm going to look over to that next one, orient the gun over, drop in. It's a lot easier than trying to do this type of a thing.
Yeah, I did eventually pop off the scope and orient, but you're right. I panned over through the scope. What a dummy.
This is the rifle that I had with me closest when I came down here. This is the Dead Air Lazarus. Haven't had a ton of time on it yet, but so far I really like it. So it's like a 5.56 6 mil can on there, and I am actually going to be sending 6 max through this. I've been really interested in the 6 max round, seen a little bit about it online, and I like to tinker. So everything I do is pretty unorganized. MDT bipod, the SkyPod, is my go-to. Pretty much have this on any rifle that I'm going to be using. And then the Sons of Liberty Gunworks, this is just all from the factory, so nothing has changed. It's exactly as they said it, other than a couple of the attachments on here. So this is a Seekins Precision Arca rail that M locks in right there. Really right stuff tripod, and then because I'm running a Mars LRF on top, I'm running a 45 dot on an Arasaka mount, and I like the 509T. It's a nice small enclosed emitter, and it's the closest one I had to me when I wanted to put something on there. That's important. Zero compromise, 4 to 20, I believe. Really good glass in these, and on the LRF, I finally just decided I'm just going to put the button up here because I'm changing optics on different guns, and got tired of rerouting wires and everything. Spur mount, cantilever mount on there, so it sits on the upper receiver appropriately. Gets a little crowded on the charging handle though. Other than that, everything's as it comes. Looks like Sons of Liberty did a B5 grip. So I did change out the buttstock. So I don't see too many of these out there, but it's something I use on a lot of my more precision built gas guns, and it is made by a company named Kiro, I believe. And also, when I was shooting last, I had a smaller bag and I wanted a bag rider. I happened to have a Unity riser close by, so I threw that on there because it does what I wanted it to do at the time. So the Kiro stock's cool because you can adjust pretty quickly, and then you can dial in the length of pole settings on there, and it can adjust in the 6 slots that you have available here. And if you want to run it closer up, this will reciprocate with your charging handle, so you're not going to be blocked that way. Really like how quickly and easily that thing adjusts. I just found one somewhere at some obscure store, bought it, and I loved it. Looked at it, Googled it, found it online somewhere, so I have no specific place to tell you to go to find that, but it's Kiro if you're interested. Other than that, this is chambered in 6 max, which is essentially like a 5.56 casing, shooting a 6mm projectile. Interesting, these are just a hair longer, so you have to use these are Duramags, the metal mags, and I can kind of see why they did it that way, because this could be very easily confused with a 223 or 5.56 if you're not paying really close attention. That's what I'm going to be shooting today. These are 103 grain ELDM bullets, so they got a good BC and pretty good velocity. This is a 14.5 inch gun, and they had the dead air chemo pinned and welded brake on there. So this is awesome. After I'm done with these 103s, I'm going to try out the 90 grain. I think these are going about 25-80 feet per second out of this shorter build. Now we're going to go over the backup rifle. So this one is the Geisley 6mm arc, and it's an 18 inch. And I can't remember what the twist rate is. Probably like 1 7.5 or something like that. But running a dead air Nomad on here. Same thing with the Sky Pod here. They have integrated an Arca rail, and then running a Night Force Attacker 4-20 with a Mars on this guy, and then another air socket mount with a SRO on there. Same Kiro stock on the end there. Also running a 6mm projectile. So this is a pretty fun rifle.
Stand by.
Really?
Low left. No call.
That was a hit.
That was it.
Say, might have
Okay.
skipped off because I saw it moving on the second one.
34-44.
I just like to hold. I prefer just to hold it, especially at these distances. So, and then on stuff like this distance, I'm not using this. This is kind of for like reaching 1,000 yards and beyond for that Mars to start coming into play. Or if I didn't already have the ranges of those targets, which we did.
This
So,
was your 6 max, right?
yeah, 6 max.
I don't know if you could pick any of that up on camera, but just the sound of it hitting the steel compared to 223s,
A little more energy.
bit different. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're to my SPR build, which
is probably the same as last time we did this video. So this is a 14.5-inch Radian. I do have some 18-inch guns, but I don't really have very much time behind them. So I stuck to this gun because I have a lot of time behind this gun, and it has killed many a rock chuck, and I know this thing is a hammer. So we'll start at the front. I have a Dead Air Nomad 30. It's heavier, but it's much more durable than a titanium can, so I kept the older model on it. I have an Atlas bipod. Atlas and MDT bipods are my go-tos. This one's a little shorter than my MDT one, so it kind of has ended up staying on this gun. I have a Gen 1 Cloud Defense Rain, and then I have the 100 Concepts light cap on there. I have a Driven Arms Co. short stop as my hand stop. This is an Area 419 Arca plate so that I can interface with my Arca tripods. And contrary to most people, I use Arca for all my camera stuff, so I have made all my guns use Arca as well so that I can use all the same stuff for cameras and guns tripod-wise, and that has been incredibly convenient for me because I am probably 80% using a tripod for a camera, 20% using it for a gun. This is the one thing that is not how I normally have it set up. That's the curse of doing content, is you're always moving, especially optics and lights, you're always moving stuff around to different guns. So I actually robbed the optic I normally have on this gun for a photo shoot on a different gun and haven't put it back, but it is the same. It's the Leupold 3.6 to 18. It's the Mark V. The difference is, oh, they both also have the flatline ops levels. The difference is the one that's normally on this gun has the 100 Concepts ARD scope caps, the scope cap pros, and it also has a 12 o'clock Delta Point Pro. Mostly I use that for quicker target acquisition, but it can also be used if you're up close and you need a red dot. But realistically, it's almost always for target acquisition for me. It's sitting in a Reptilian mount right now. I also have the bone spur from Flatline Ops throw lever on there. Driven Arms Co. grip I switched out for. I like this because it has a nice shelf, so I can get my thumb on the right side, and I have a pretty good shelf to do that on this grip. I have on the back here, Arasaka makes, it's a bag rider and then it's adjustable cant, and it adds this rubber butt pad. You can adjust cant left or right, up, down, whatever you need. And it also takes the angle of the stock from being angled in a little and it flattens it out. I really like this setup from Arasaka. And I will actually move this stock around to different guns as I'm shooting them because I like it so much. And then I'm running the Tier 1 concealed flatline fiber, flatline ops for levels, flatline fiber for slings. This is the collab we did with them. And I'm running that sling on here. And I think that's pretty much it. I generally will run the Hornady 73 grain ammo out of this. This gun seems to really like it. But today we're running some 77s and we'll see how it runs with that. I'm sure it'll run just fine. I, just like Aaron, am gonna dial, but for me it's mostly because the scope I normally have on this has a Christmas tree reticle. This one just has crosshairs, so I don't have anything to hold with.
Stand by. Hit. 39.90.
The kicker is I had way more misses than everybody else. I'm the only one that missed this first target.
All right, guys, that is our video for the day. Let us know what you think about SPRs, or if you would consider these something else. Maybe some of these might be more GPRs, general purpose rifles. You know, there's a whole list of things we could use to classify these. But this is how we have them set up. This is kind of like what we like to do. And we like kind of this precision gas gun world. We're planning another video on a large frame gas guns, AR-10s, you know, 308 carbines or 6.5 carbines. So stay tuned for that one. And as always, guys, let us know what you thought, what you want to see next, and stay safe, stay strapped, and we will catch you next time.